Hey everyone, and welcome back. Ready to add some sparkle to your vocabulary? We're diving deep into some expressions you might use every day, but maybe haven't thought that much about.
I love it, digging deep into words, the how and the why we use them.
Exactly. So to kick things off, let's talk about breaking the ice. It's about more than just starting a chat, right?
It really is. It's about those first few moments, that little bit of awkwardness maybe when you meet someone new. You got to kind of find a way to connect.
Yeah, like our source said, imagine a party full of guests who are literally frozen. A good icebreaker thaws things out, gets everyone mingling.
I like that visual. And it makes you think about how important those first impressions can be. Just like ships need to break through ice to navigate, a well-placed joke or question can really set the tone.
So true. A good icebreaker can turn a room full of strangers into, well, something much more comfortable. Have you ever noticed that?
Oh, for sure. That moment when the energy shifts and people relax, it can be amazing.
And now, how about a dash of British charm? Let's talk about being chuffed to bits.
I love this one. It just makes you smile. It's like pure joy, that feeling of over the moon, but with a British twist.
Our source mentioned passing a driving test, and instead of just happy, they were chuffed to bits. But here's the thing, chuffed on its own. It originally meant swollen or puffed up.
Which paints such a funny picture. Imagine that, like the puffer fish, all puffed up with pride. That's chuffed to bits for you.
I love that. So full of joy you could practically burst.
And a little bit of that energy, that chuffed to bits feeling, it's something we could all use a bit more of.
From happy to, well, maybe not so happy. Our next word is dwell on. And it's all about that flip side. When good vibes take a bit of a detour.
Yeah, it's important to process our emotions, but sometimes we get stuck, replaying those negative thoughts in our heads over and over. Our source made a point about the word dwelling itself. It made me think of a house, a place you live.
Right, a dwelling. It's like you unpack your bags in that headspace of negativity and just never leave.
Exactly. You overstay your welcome in that mental house full of all those anxieties and regrets.
Such a powerful way to think about it. I mean, dwelling on the past, it doesn't change anything, does it? It's more about learning and growing from those experiences, don't you think?
I totally agree. Dwelling keeps us stuck, right? We've got to find healthier ways to process, whether it's talking it out, journaling, whatever helps us move on.
Totally. Sometimes just realizing you're dwelling on something is a huge first step. And speaking of things that require some serious brain power, let's move on to our final word. Conundrum.
Now, there's a word that just sounds complex, doesn't it? It's more than a simple problem. It's something that needs some real creative thinking to even begin to unravel.
It's got that mystery to it, like a good puzzle, wouldn't you say?
Exactly. It's not about finding one right answer. It's about being okay with exploring different angles, different possibilities.
And get this, the origin of the word conundrum is a bit of a puzzle itself. Kind of fitting, right? It reminds me of those Rubik's Cubes. Remember those? You could spend hours twisting and turning trying to solve them.
Oh, yeah, and talk about frustrating, but also when you finally crack the code, so satisfying. That's the allure of a good conundrum. It keeps you on your toes.
It's amazing how just one word like conundrum can get you thinking in so many different directions. It's not just about adding words to our vocabulary. It's about understanding how we experience the world, right?
Exactly. Language, it's powerful stuff. It shapes our thoughts, how we feel even.
Think back to where we started with breaking the ice. It's more than small talk. It's about those connections we make and how we build relationships.
It's true. And then you've got chuffed to bits, a good reminder to enjoy the little things, to let yourself feel that pure joy.
Absolutely.
Mm.
And on the flip side, recognizing when we're stuck dwelling on stuff, those negative thought loops, we've got to find ways to move forward.
We do. It's like we've been saying, language can be a tool, a way to understand ourselves and the world better.
It's like we opened up this treasure chest of words, and each one, it's like a little gem that adds a little something special.
I love that. And the best part, this journey of language, it never really ends. There are always new words to discover, new ways to express ourselves. It's exciting.
Totally. So as we wrap up our deep dive today, remember, keep those ears open. You never know what linguistic gems you might find.
And don't be afraid to use them. Play with language, make it your own. That's how we keep it alive.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
No.
That's it for our deep dive today. Until next time, happy exploring.